going on? What's going on? Yours truly, Coach Cloud. Like I said, man, it's been a lot of basketball going on. I got my Bills gear on. Go Bills, always go Bills, and Josh Allen we trust. Future Super Bowl Trent, but that's a different story. I just got my Bills gear. Just wanted to support my team on the Sunday night football. But anyways, it's a bye week for us. But I've been watching a lot of college basketball this past weekend with the secret scrimmages and exhibition games. And I'll say this: it's been some good basketball. Not a lot of good defense, especially that Auburn and Alabama, two exhibitions for Oklahoma State. For Auburn, it was like 98-97, crazy score. Then you got Auburn and what was it, Florida State. That was like 92-90. So like I said, that was a long, high scoring. It's been some high scoring games. You got Michigan and Cincinnati. That game was 98-100 UC. So it's been a lot of high scoring basketball. I seen another scrimmage or exhibition. It was Toledo. They put up 123, and the D2 school Finley they put up 103. So like I said, it's gonna be a lot of high scoring games this year in college basketball. And like one thing I'll take away is I like what I seen from Tolson. Shout out to Pat Scary versus St. John's. They came on the road to Queens, up from Baltimore, came in, was up by 8, up in Queens versus St. John's. Then the St. Johnny's, they put up 52 points in the second half. So that's big time for them to, turn around. I think the offense still kind of look big stagnant, though. They got a lot of players that they're used to having the ball, so they got to get used to playing with each other. But overall, they scored 52 points in the second half. That's elite right there. I'll say that. And another key game I'll say is Oklahoma State. Them boys, Anthony Roy, Jalen Curry from UMass, Anthony Ward from Green Bay, Isaiah Coleman from Seton Hall. That's going to be a sleeper team. We're going to get back to them later on. But like I said, they put on performance versus Taha Pettiford and what's his name? Keyshawn Hall. Keyshawn Hall, man. Like I said, they did a real good job versus them. They played pretty well, too. Aiden Holloway and LeBron Philbon for Alabama. They look pretty good, pretty solid. I see Florida. They blew out FIU, Florida Florida International by 60. By 30. Sorry about that. It looked like they only put up 60 though, and they put up 90. Florida did, so that's why I said by 60. 30 times 2 is 60, basically. You know what I'm saying? Just playing, but Florida look like they're gonna be elite with that backcourt with Xavier Lee and Boogie Flam. So those two with Tommy Hall and Alex Colden, feel like they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with, trying to go back to back for the Florida Gators and Todd Going. So that's some key exhibition games. Michigan, they looked a little shaky. They was down 20 at half at home to Cincinnati. Then they came back and was 98-100 to Cincinnati. So like I said, that's gonna be key things to look out for with the Wolverines. But Cincinnati, they came in, they got a nice freshman. He looked pretty well. And that freshman from Baylor. That freshman from Baylor had 21 points. That's a bad boy. Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce his name. All-time leading scorer in California history. But he's a bad boy. I seen some another good game. I seen USC. Their defense looked elite versus Loyola Marymount. So like that's it. That 7-footer from Youngstown State, Gabe Dennings, he looking really, really like a clog in the paint. Just hard to score over. Had 6 blocks, and he just looked like a force in the paint to really be reckoned with. Also, you got Chad Baker Mazzaro. He's on like his 10th year in college, 5th year of school. I was coaching against him his freshman year at Duquesne. He's a true freshman. That was back in 2020. It's about to be 2026. So, hey, grown man playing college basketball still. He's about 25. He's getting close to my age. But anyways, USC look like they're going to be a solid team, though. They had a good showing, though. They held a team to 13 points in the first half. So overall, it looks like it's going to be a lot of good defensive performances from USC and Eric Musselman. Seen Georgetown, where's George Washington? George Washington's picked to win the A10, and Georgetown came on the road and held them to 63 points. So like I said, that's real good for Georgetown Holdings, Malik Mack, KJ Williams. They look pretty solid yesterday. Malik Mack looking real good in the second year in the Big East. So I got Georgetown making a tournament though, making a little run in the Big East too as well. That might be a top 5 team in the Big East. That'll be good for them to get that program back on the map with Ed Cooley. Another team I like that I seen was Arizona. Arizona put the beat down on St. Mary. They forced no with Cole P and Burry's the freshman. They got two McDonald's All Americans, so it look like they got some young guys at Arizona that's gonna lead the way as far as statistically and obviously winning in Tucson this year though. So like I said, they're going to be really, really good. But I did hear about Ole Miss. Ole Miss, them Ole Miss boys beat Houston in the secret scrimmage, 70-56. So that's going to be interesting there to see how Kelvin Simpson don't bounce back. Because like I said, even though these games doesn't count, it's still interesting to see how these teams bounce back. Because like I said, I don't care, count or not. We played a game to win, and if we didn't come out with a good performance, you know, we got to get back to the drawing board. I know it's October, but still though, opening night is in a couple of weeks, so you definitely want to be nice and ready though for that the bright lights for the fans to see, and basically to win. The goal is to win in March, and cut down the nets in late April. So Houston, couple of top 10 teams, BYU, they lost to Nebraska. Nebraska's picked 14th in the Big Ten, so they lost by one. And the AJ DeBonson, ooh, that boy looking good, good, good. 30 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. AJ DeBonson, man, I'm telling you, he can do anything a guard can do. He can do anything a big can do. He's just a mismatch nightmare. He's AJ DeBonson. He's box office. And he put up 30 points in his first dressing rehearsal versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So that's going to be real, real good to see him, what he does the rest of the UA. Can't wait to see Darren Peterson play. Can't wait to see Cameron Boozy. Nathan Mint. I heard Ohio State and Tennessee, they had a secret scrimmage. They were going at it this past week. And I heard Tennessee came up, but I heard Ohio State was real competitive. They got Bruce Thornton, Julian Mobley, Christoph Tilley, the transfer from St. Clair, Brandon Knoll, Amari Bynum, freshman. So they got a lot of bigs and keys, to really compete in the Big Ten and overall make the NCAA tournament. Shout out to Brian Walsh and Coach John Dealy. So we're gonna see how the Buckeyes do though. But like I said, I like how they, these teams are coming together and really just trying to see, where's our team at, early in the year though. So, we're gonna see. That's gonna be real interesting. We got some more exhibitions to talk about as well. So back with more recap. So today we had Illinois over Illinois State by 30. Now, Brian Underwood made a controversial statement saying that Europe has better players than basically the best players in the world. Now, showing on the NBA with Giannis, SGA, Joker, Greek Freak. So, hey, Wemby, Zachy Ricochet. So, like I said, it's a lot of stars from overseas and all different places that's non-American. And, they killing it. Maybe he does have a point right now, but really, I'll say this. America is worried about NIL, the flash of the game, and less than the process. So one thing I'll say, I got this from Nick Saban. Focus on the process and the goals will work out itself. The goal is the goal at the end of the day. So just keep that in mind. But back to what I was saying about Brad Underwood. He was just saying American players need to step up. They're easier. European are easier to coach. They coach harder naturally from overseas. Like you see video, social media, or just YouTube. You can look it up. Them coaches go in. They going in like Texas football Pee Wee coaches on a Saturday morning. That's how. But worse, raw red, cussing, spitting, and all that. Coach Cloud, I really didn't coach like that. I'm like Phil Jackson, man. Y'all gotta figure it out, man. On y'all own. I ain't gotta cuss y'all out and all that. It's a way. But everyone's different. But they steamrolled Illinois State 91-62. So, he got a lot of European, got a lot of the Balkans, man. So man, he's really, doing his thing, creating a culture with the Balkans over there, tough physical guys. They had a freshman, David Miricic. He went off. He's from the Balkans. Peja Stojakovic, he didn't even play today. So, like I said, Big Z, the former Kentucky, Arkansas transfer, he went crazy today. He had 15. His brother didn't even play today. So, in Illinois, like I said, that was one of those super teams that you got to watch out for, man. They really, really can, sneak up on some teams. Maybe had that Sweet 16 or Elite 8 run. Next, we got Pitt over Providence. Providence, they they were picked to be like top 5, top 16 in the Big East. But Pitt, they wasn't even not even top 10 in their team. they picked at least, I think, 15 or 16, maybe 14 in the league. So that's interesting. You know, the score was 81-73. Shout out to Pitt, man. Shout out to Big Bro John, man. LeBron Gonti. Held to Pitt. Good win, Jeff Cable. You know, he's always on the hot seat every year. So that's one thing we got to say about that. But another game we seen was Dayton over Penn State. Dayton Flyers defense looked good. The big man from France, Adam Long, he looks really, really well. Jacob Conlon looking aggressive. Javon Bennett looking ready for a breakout all. First team, 18 year. It's going to be a real special year for the Flyers. I think Keontae Jones, the Cal State Northridge, he looked real athletic, 17 points in 23 minutes. They look dominant, though. Penn State, they had a freshman, Mango. He looked a little bit, you know, he looked good. Had 18, 6 for 10, first debut in just rehearsal. But Penn State overall, they look young. I think they're going to be part of the worst team in the Big Ten. They just didn't look good, you know, coming into Dayton Arena, their hometown. They just didn't look like a Big Ten team right now. They look like they just didn't look good. They just didn't look good. Maybe they need to go to A10. I'm just playing, you know, they just, James Franklin, he just got fired. I don't know, man. I ain't coughing on big jobs, but Mike Rose, you're going to have to get together, man. You know, hey, it gets spooky in that Big Ten and that Power 4 conference, Power 5. So we're going to have to see about that. Then we got Nova over BCU by 20. 20. And now BCU and George Washington, they're supposed to be the top two teams to come out the A10. So, you know, both teams, they be getting beat down, put on them this past weekend. So we're going to see, man. Like I said, Nova got Kevin Willard, former Seton Hall coach, Maryland coach. Now he's back in the Big East with Nova. So, like, I think that's a good job for him to take back over after Kyle Neptune left it at dumpster fire. Just 16, 17, 17 to 17, 15 to 17. That ain't over basketball, you know. I know he's part of brotherhood and all that, but I think Kevin Willard, you know, he's going to get the job done regardless, though. He's Kevin Willard. His track record is proven with Miles Leonard, Shabar Reynolds, Isaiah Whitehead. I mean, he was a dog. So, like, he got some guys from all over, though. And just, you know, Kevin Willard can coach. Kevin Willard can coach some basketball. But, you know, VCU, Phil Martelli Jr., his first year coming from Bryant at VCU. So we're going to see how he does. But like I said, this is a good wake-up call for young coaches to see where your team is at versus some elite talent does. You know, it look like the Big East is beating down on A10 so far with George Washington and VCU taking L's this past weekend. But like I said, it's an exhibition though, so nothing really matters or set in stone. It's good to see where your team's at and home you guys the same way. But another upset, Murray State over Xavier. Xavier shot 2 for 15 from 3-point line. 2 for 15. So that's going to be pretty hard to overcome, though. I don't care what level you at. You shooting 2 for 15, and in this modern day of basketball, you're going to win a lot of basketball games. Overall field goal percentage was 35.8% from the field, so that's not good. Murray State, they came in steamrolling, so that's a good for them, man. I know they're in the Conference USA now, so let's see what they're about, you know, with this confidence coming early in the year, though, beating a newly built Xavier with Richard Pitino, the son of Rick Pitino, Hall of Fame coach. So let's see how that is. St. Joe's over Seton Hall. Now, this score was ugly. Seton Hall only put up 57 points. St. Joe's put up 64. So, you know, good job. Kudos to St. Joe's beating a Big East team. So I'm saying it looking like Seton Hall is not going to be very good this year, putting up only 57 points. That's going to be kind of frustrating. So I know Shahee Holloway had that great run at St. Peter's, but hey, man, we're going to see what's it about, man. Like I said, it's tough to win in this business, and he's going to have to do a better job of I don't know, as far as recruiting, getting creative recruiting wise. I know NIL is NIL, but you might have to maybe go overseas or call Cloud HoopZ Consulting. You know, hey, that's what we're here for, to help coaches, players, agents, all over the game, parents. Hey, that's what we're here for, to help. But anyways, next we got Temple 91-60 over my Florida Rams. Damn, got a beat down on my Rams. My Rams, man, they got a new coach, Mike M. He's from UC Riverside, so hopefully, you know, he gets things together after this scrimmage this past weekend. You know, hoping to regroup. Temple, man, I know they a sleeper team though. They went to the American Conference Championship a couple years ago, so we're gonna see what they about this year. You know, they setting the tempo right over the A10 getting beat down this year, man. Kind of quite frightfully. Then we got Texas over SMU. That game was really, really good, man. I heard, man, it was 89-83. So SMU, they got a lot of talent with Jermaine O'Neal, Jerron, Pierre, Boopy Miller, but Texas got Dylan Swain and Sean Miller. So they funny story is Sean Miller beat Texas when Rodney Terry at the first four. I was at the game. See Marcus Foster, shout out to my guy Marcus Foster doing it well in the BBL in Germany. So that was a real good game though to see how that turned around. He beat Rodney Terry in four. Then he takes the Texas job after Texas fires Ronnie Terry. So that's just how this business is, man. You gotta win and recruit, man. Also, you gotta raise money for NIL. That's another thing. Hey, these kids asked for over $1 million. I seen six figures for bench players. 218 was the average salary. So that's interesting over there. And another interesting thing I seen today was West Virginia. Shout out to my guy Johnny Estelle, Coach Johnny Estelle, and Ross Hodge from North Texas, Andre Shaw. They beat the brakes off of Maryland. Buzz Williams coming to Maryland. He did it at Marquette. He did it at Virginia Tech. He did it at Texas A&M. Now he's in the Big Ten with the big dogs, the real big dogs. I think probably might be the best conference in college basketball. And then SEC is going to be between the SEC, Big 12, and Big 10, I think. It's not going to be like a solo upsetter like how they had 14 teams last year from the SEC, which was pretty impressive. And like I said, we're going to see. But, West Virginia, a Big 12 team, but the breakdown, the score was 94-73. So West Virginia, they're going to have some good pieces, though. So we're gonna see what they're about, man. Like I said, it's a whole lot of basketball out to be played with, We got Louisville, Cincinnati coming up this Tuesday. So we're gonna see. But I want to get into another topic. Top 5 guards in the country right now. So, we got Braden Smith at Purdue. He's on everybody's first team All-American list. He's gonna be the guy. I think he might break that assist record at Purdue if he hasn't already. So he's gonna be a pretty good guy to look at. I got Anthony Roy. I want to put Anthony Roy in there. I'm gonna turn some heads. Anthony Roy. If you seen that performance he did versus Auburn, I know it's the expedition again. I might be overreacting, but I think the way he was playing, he's playing like a pro. So that's one thing I'm about to say, man. He got that job done, and hey, my eyes can't fool me. What Anthony Roy did to them Auburn boys, Tyed Pettiford, and Keyshawn Hall and them. Yeah, them boys looking kind of spooky though. So I know to turn some heads on that. But Anthony Roy, hey boy, you gonna be a top 5 guard, and hey, hopefully you can get them Oklahoma State. I gonna have to play some defense now. I gave up a lot of points too though, so we're gonna say that was a bold statement I made. Then I got Milos Uzan, Houston. That boy is a killer. I see him in person. He got that bag. So he gonna be hungry, trying to get back to the Indianapolis Lucas Oil Stadium to cut down them nets though. That's 3 guards so far. My 4th guard, I'm gonna go with LaBron Philbon from Alabama. What I seen, man, he's getting to the cup with ease. He look really, really nice, special, and he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. And my 5th guard is gonna be. I'm gonna have to think about this. I think my 5th guard. I think I'm gonna go with a mid-major guard. I think I'm gonna go with somebody in the mid-major. I think I'm gonna go with let me see. Nah, I'm not gonna go mid-major. Let's stick with the high major, top 5 guards. Okay. Who we gonna go with top 5 guards? We're gonna do top 5 mid-major soon. I think my top 5 guard is gonna be Boopy Miller. I heard good things about Boopy Miller, SMU. He's gonna be a real talented guard to see what I'm just really excited to see what SMU and Andy Elson, he got it done at USC. I think his time was overdue over there, but it is what it is. But I think I think he's gonna lead SMU back to the tournament though. So I got Boopy Miller, him. So that's my top 5 guards though. And another question we got is there a mid-major to make another deep run this year? That's a good question though. A lot of mid-majors, they've been getting their players plucked year by year by these Power 5 conferences. So I think a team to look out for this year, I'm going to say my Akron Zips. Oh, you can't never count out Akron. I think they're gonna really crush the threshold of getting their first state tournament and win this year, and maybe a Sweet 16 appearance. So they got a lot of talent. They were recruited well in the portal, so we're gonna see they won the MAC tournament 3 times. So maybe Kent State. I'm gonna go with the MAC too. And then I got the A10. If George Washington get in, I think they could be a force to be reckoned with. I will say that though. They got a lot of talent with Castro, Dinkins, Audrey, Benjamin, Marshall Jr. They got a lot of Dinkins. They got some dogs though. I ain't gonna lie. They lost, but they ain't put up a fight. They put up a good fight. So I'm gonna have to go with George Washington in the A10 though. So those my couple of teams though. But like I said, appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe most definitely. And hold on now. We got another one. Hold on. Got another question. My question is, who's the best conference in the nation this year? I know SEC, like I said, they put up a record 14 teams in the NCAA tournament, which was pretty impressive. And Florida and Auburn ended up making it Final Four, and Florida ended up winning. So that technically, they might have been the best conference ever in Chicago's basketball. It may be. That's kind of controversial. But hey, maybe the old heads debate the HEC in the 80s, Big East in the 2000s. But hey, I seen what I seen. But you can put the SEC in there, obviously, Big 10, Big 12. But I'm gonna give you a sleeper conference though. Don't sleep on that Mountain West. I think they're gonna be pretty better than what most people expect though. They got more depth with Grand Canyon. Utah State had a good year. Boise State. I think Fresno State gonna be a sleeper team. Colorado State. They got a new Vance. Like I said, they won game. The Mountain West wins in. So like I said, I'm not saying they could be a top 5. The Big East might be a little down. You never know with the Big East. They be up and down. So just stay tuned with what I say though with that though. Hey man. But like I said, like, share, subscribe though, man. Let me know. Is it the Big 10? Is it the Big 12? Is it gonna be the SEC this year? Or it's gonna be the ACC or maybe the Mountain West? We gonna see though. Let me know. Like, share, subscribe.